They buried me in the water and I came, I knew. Now I'm baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, I'm a winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. See, I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. See, I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue.
Welcome to the Officer Autumn podcast, the only podcast designed specifically for female cops in mind. I hope you enjoy this podcast episode. If you love the music, go check out One Time Music. He's a fellow Leo. You can check him out in the show notes. And his full song, Baptized in Blue, is at the end of this episode. Today we're going to be talking about how to professionally let everybody know you're not interested in them. So as a female officer, this is going to come up all the time. As a woman in a male-dominated career, it's just going to come up all the time. And so we have to ask ourselves ahead of time. It's really good to be prepared for, like, how do we answer that? How do we handle it? Now, I did answer this on TikTok, but I felt like I wanted to say more than I could in like a 3-minute video. So if you haven't gone and watched that TikTok, you can. It's definitely on there for you to do that. But so here's my take on it. Here's what I have to say about that. So being the woman or a woman in a male-dominated career can be tricky because men like will kind of run to you. They'll gravitate towards you, especially if you have like a good personality. Even if you're not trying, but if you're just really nice, sometimes that gets taken the wrong way. I'm trying to come up with misinterpreted. It gets taken the wrong way. And so you have to really make things clear with people. And I want to say this. Take it from a sister who knows, who is continuously put in these situations throughout my whole life. Because the truth is like, I have grown up with more men, more boys than I did with girls. I had one cousin who was my best friend growing up. That was a girl. And the rest of my cousins and the rest of my friends were all boys. It's just the way it was. I've been a tomboy since I can remember. I would very adamantly go shopping in the boys section, like throughout my whole elementary career, you know. I've been in the martial arts since I've been 5 years old. I've been rolling around on sweaty mats with sweaty boys and a couple girls, just not that many. Since I've been 5. I mean, I did that right up until, 22 years old. So, I just jive better with guys. But through that, I had to learn that we have to lay down boundaries. And I want to put it like this. It's not because men are bad. It's because they probably are very innocently, they might like you, and it's not wrong. I need to just say that too. Cause I do stand on what I say about don't be hooking up with your fucking partner. Don't be hooking up, especially if you work in a small department. I wouldn't do that. I'm not saying it doesn't work out. Of course it works out. There's people that it does work out. It's just that if it doesn't work out and then you hook up with another one and then another one, then you start getting a name for yourself within your department, okay? And, and if it doesn't work out, let's never mind how messy that can be, right? It can just get really messy. Who has time for that? You don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Nobody does. So we know how I feel about that. That's a whole other podcast episode. It's a whole other thing. And I have made videos about that on TikTok, on Instagram. You can go check that out if you're interested. But so, if you are not interested, I just want to applaud you for even being here and listening and being like, no, I want to respectfully, I want everyone to know, you're not going to get anywhere with me because I'm not interested. And I think that that's going to prevent a lot of shit for you. I just want to say that because then it doesn't upset anybody because then you're not leading anybody on. People aren't feeling like they're getting mixed signals from you and you're just very clear about your intentions. So how do we do that? Some of the best advice I can give is just be so honest. Don't play games. The thing about policing is you're going to learn about everybody's whole inner and outer fucking family, their inner workings. Like, you're going to get to know them on a level that you probably weren't even prepared for. That is going to happen. It'll happen naturally. And when it does, you get to lay your boundaries down. You can, if people are coming on to you in the beginning very early and you haven't even got to have those conversations yet, then you just say, yeah, I don't date people I work with. I'm not interested. And you can make it up and say, yeah, I'm seeing somebody from who fucking cares where, just anywhere. Or I'm seeing somebody, or yeah, I'm just not interested. I'm not dating at all, period, the end. Say things like, yeah, I feel uncomfortable. Like I get real, and like you can just say things like, yeah, I get really uncomfortable when like people hit on me or like try to flirt with me, especially in a professional environment. Like I get really uncomfortable by that. There's nothing wrong with saying that. That's okay. And that's laying a boundary. Another really great way to lay boundaries is by calling people your brother or your sister, depending on who, sometimes we have to do that. And I will tell you right now, like I did that with all my coworkers. I mean, I was with my husband at the time. At the time we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and they all knew who he was, and they were cool. I never had anybody at my department, at that last department. But my first department, when I was single, it was like, holy cow. And I just continuously, I did make mistakes. I stepped over the boundaries. I did the shit that I'm telling you not to do. And I was 20. I didn't know. Nobody told me. And like, I got all this attention. And so, yeah, like I entertained going on a date with a guy I worked with. And then we didn't like each other. And like that. It wasn't, no. And then it just wasn't. It just from there, it just wasn't good. It was awkward. People talked, but I didn't really care about people talking, but it was just awkward between us. So I don't really recommend that at all. But what you do is, hey bro, what's going on, brother? Hey brother, I'm so excited. How are you? How is your girlfriend? How is your wife? Like, tell me how things are. That stuff like that, like letting them know, like, you are a supporter, and then drop it. Like, don't get too much into their lives. Okay. That's another thing I just want to say too. Like, it's nice and respectful to say, well, like, and I would always do this when I was with an FTO or whatever. I'd always ask how their wife is or their girlfriend, how the kids are, how's things. Great, good, perfect, boom, done, right? And if they feel like they want to talk more, great. But I learned that we don't need, like, there is a boundary there too, and we need to respect that. And that goes for anybody. This is not just towards women too, by the way. Like, men need to respect that shit too. But again, I'm talking predominantly right now to my females that are listening to this. But boundaries are real and we set them, and it's really about communication. Just tell them how the fuck you feel. Boom, done. This is how I feel. It's how I feel about this thing. I'm not feeling comfortable with you treating me like this. Hey, whoa, like, oh, like, and listen, we don't all like, okay, we don't always have to like make this big fucking deal of everything. I just want to put that out there. You can easily squash shit by being like, hey, I didn't like that. Let's not do that. And then they're like, oh shit, like, I'm really sorry. Like, yeah, no, it was cool, but we're just not gonna go that way. And then like, it's not like this big friction thing. And if you nip it in the head ahead of time, like you gotta do that. A lot of times, not all the time, but 8 out of 10 times, that's gonna stop the problem. There are times and situations that call for you having to pull the person aside and be like, shut the fuck up. And if you don't, I'm gonna fucking ruin you. You know what I mean? Like, stop. And, if that doesn't work, then we go to the supervisors and we do what we have to do. We go to HR. We're not going to fuck around. We're also not going to go to a supervisor who we know is going to sweep this under the rug. If it's a severe enough thing, and I'm talking like stalking, I'm talking about like sexual harassment, I'm talking about making fun of you in front of people, inappropriately touching you, like all of those things. And that's another podcast episode. But that is how we set boundaries. If you have questions, hit me up. Let me know. Officer Autumn on all the socials.
They buried me in the water and I came, I knew. Ha ha. Now I'm baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, I'm a winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit. I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit. with a badge and gun and a heart that said never run. I signed up for a job you wouldn't dare to do. This ain't no green screen movie, don't compare the two. We look at your actions in the elements and everything relevant. If they line up, prepare to pay the consequence. You do dirt, you get cuffed, no bluff. It's ignorant to think we will shoot with your hands up if you the police. You feel the world is against you, like every call you go to, people trying to tempt you. Well, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary, I ride on the devil, I ain't scary, and I ain't worried. You want my life, come take it, it's gonna be a fight. I take you to the light, like Will and Bright. I wouldn't expect you to understand what I do, only the thin blue line, cause they baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, I'm a winner, never quit, I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit, I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit, I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit, see I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I can't explain the pain when I see a name on the wall. All I feel is rage, put me in a cage, let me brawl. Sometimes I can't help but cry, like why did he die? I know it was him, but it could have been I. What about the kids? What about the spouse? Yeah, now who gon' put food inside them babies' mouth? It's a bigger picture when the officer down. Domino effect, Blue Nation, family, country, and town. The media don't cover us. Well, maybe Fox, cause MSNBC and CNN surely don't care about cops. Politicians more concerned about protecting the legal instead of laying the law down and protecting the people. Let me get off my soapbox before I curse. I don't seen way too many cops riding in hearse. Well, I wouldn't expect you to understand what I do, only the thin blue line, cause they baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, I'm a winner, never quit, I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit, I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit, I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit, see I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. If I'm faced with a mission, I'm gonna complete it. If that means being deleted, I live with the credence. I do this for the combat vets and LEOs. When I'm suited, ready to go, it's either friend or foe. Only Lord knows what my future's in store. I only kill with the hope to see more, so God don't close that door. If I take a life, it's him or me, with the hopes to survive, not bigotry. I go in situations that you cannot imagine, deal with things that you cannot fathom. Know it, but I'd rather fight for a cause than live for nothing. So when you read my headstone, you know I died for something. You hypersensitive, she complain by justified force. You blame the cops first, that don't work, you blame the courts. But I wouldn't expect you to understand what I do, only the thin blue line, cause they baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, I'm a winner, never quit, I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit, I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a fighter, never winner, never quit, I refuse to lose. I got heart and I got grit, see I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue. I'm a warrior that's been baptized in blue.